99.5 in Kumasi and streaming worldwide at myjoyonline.com, X Spaces, Facebook, and YouTube. We're also live in all 16 regions of Ghana via various affiliates. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams this afternoon. Commercial fares could be heading for an upward adjustment despite government's plea for restraint, as the Ghana Private Road Transport Union insists a review is now inevitable.
We have to come up with an upward adjustment in the lorry fares. If care is not taken, we will start working because as we speak now, most of our vehicles have been grounded.
We're live at the presidency, where cabinet is expected to hold an emergency meeting later this week over the escalating standoff between government and transport operators.
For diesel, I see 15 point something, 16. We're all praying that conflict will come to an end sooner than later.
Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament have questioned government's decision for importing internal combustion engine buses instead of electric ones, describing the move as surprising amid global fuel price volatility.
We were moving away from internal combustion engines to bring in electric buses. And so I'm surprised that the government didn't take a leaf from what we did.
Also, newly recruited teachers issue a week ultimatum to government for the settlement of the salary arrears, or they hit the streets. And later, massive crowds, big stars, and bold fashion mark grand finale of Guma Easter Carnival.
If you know me before, you see me today, you go see I be solo. How they understand why some people say this thing be.
We have details of that coming up with me, Maame Esi Nyamekye Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Details shortly. Details now. The Ghana Private Road Transport Union is pushing for an increase in transport fares despite government's appeal for restraint. The union is citing rising fuel prices, insurance premiums, as well as the cost of spare parts and lubricants. The union says it has already shown restraint, pointing to a 15% fare reduction in May last year, and several occasions it absorbed rising operational costs without passing them on to passengers. According to GPRTU, the expected relief from recent city stability has not materialized, while maintenance costs, including engine replacement, continue to rise. We'll hear from the union ahead of a crucial meeting with government on the proposed fare review. But first, listen to President Mahama call for an emergency cabinet meeting on the issue at the Kwewu Business Forum.
For diesel, I see 15 point something, 16. We're all praying that conflict will come to an end sooner than later. But I must assure you that this economy is more resilient than it was in the past. So I can confidently tell you that the economy is not going to crash because of the war. I've called for an emergency cabinet meeting to decide some measures we can take to cushion the petroleum price while we expect that the war comes to an end. There are some tweaking we can do in terms of levies and margins and other things in order to maintain stable price while we pray that the war comes to an end. I want to express my sincere gratitude to the transport unions, for being very patient with us. All of us didn't expect this was coming. They have held on with increasing fares, and I'm sure that they will continue to hold on with any fare increases while we all see how we can make things better.
Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Abbas Moro, maintains that a fare adjustment is unavoidable, warning that operators are under intense financial strain and cannot delay any further.
We are into serious business. We will be very lenient enough. Since last year, May, that we came up with the 15% reduction. Immediately, we again came up and started speaking about some parts which are still on the higher side, lubricants, which prices are still on the higher side. And we're even thinking for the sake of the dollars reduction, the lubricants and other components prices will even reduce. Lo and behold, here we are. Some have even gone up. And if care is not taken, we will start working because as we speak now, most of our vehicles have been grounded and the owners are looking for a huge sum of money either to replace the engines and many other components. Where we have gotten to, there's nothing we can do than to make sure we sit in Georgia and see how best we can raise the fare. God willing, tomorrow we will meet the transport ministry and see how best we could rectify the situation.
Well, let's go live to the presidency where questions are already emerging about leadership of this process, with the president currently out of the country on official assignment. Maxwell Akbaba joins us now with details. So, Maxwell, the president is out of the country, who is expected to take charge of this emergency meeting. In his absence, or he will return before this meeting is held?
Well, Maame Esi, that cabinet meeting is expected to happen on Thursday. Now, like you rightly mentioned, President John Mahama is scheduled to be in France today at the invitation of the French President Emmanuel Macron. And during that visit, he will attend the 2026 One Health Summit in Lyon. And after that, he will hold bilateral talks with President Macron. Now, he's also expected to meet with the President of the French Senate at the Senate House. But it's going to take place on Wednesday. So per the statement released by the presidency, he's scheduled to return to Ghana on Wednesday. And information that we're picking up from our sources within the presidency says that that cabinet meeting is scheduled to take place on Thursday, Maame Esi.
Right, Maxwell, thank you for that update. Well, joining us also is economist Mr. Yao Latte. We're grateful for your time. And as both sides prepare for these talks, what are the possible remedies available to government in addressing these challenges?
Okay, so good afternoon, and thank you very much for the opportunity. From what I gather, it's a crisis that is affecting not just Ghana, but across the globe. And countries are now taking measures to protect or immune themselves against the adverse effects of what's happening in the Middle East. You may have heard in the news that Senegal, for instance, has banned all official transport travels by government officials. And Senegal and other governments across Africa are taking similar decisions to absorb the effect of increasing price of oil on the world market. Now, we need to understand some of the risks that we have so that at least we can think through the short and long-term policy that the government can be thinking of. The risk to us as a country is that Ghana, for instance, has been a significant importer of oil. So we are a net importer of oil. About 30% of our import bill is arising out of crude oil. And in the last couple of months, the cedi has slightly gained, seen some significant or some slight depreciation. What it means is that we are beginning to see the adverse effect of the developments on the international market. International oil price has gone up by over 60%. Before the war, it was hovering around $75 per barrel. Now it's about $120 per barrel. At the same time, around about the same time, crude oil price in Ghana was around about 16 Ghana cedis. So what it means is that in the short to medium term, we will be expecting crude oil prices, let's say the price of petrol and diesel, to rise above 20 Ghana cedis. And what it means consequently is that transport fares are also going to increase significantly by about 20% or more. So governments will have to be proactive, and some of what they should be thinking about in the short term, in my view, is to look at making a lot of gains or trying to get a lot more from the oil price stability that we have on the gold price. So, for instance, we should be able to increase production of gold in order to get a benefit. We have accumulated reserve about $14.5 billion in gold reserve. What it means is that we should be able to mitigate the impact of the increasing oil price with the benefit that we are getting on the gold price. The other effect is that in the short term, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank should be monitoring development, the upside and downside risk.
Mm-hmm.
If there is some risk that's coming from the global economy, we should also monitor monetary policy rates.
Right.
Now we know it's just around 14%. What it means is that we should increase it when you have to, and we should decrease it when you have to.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you talk about gold prices. I mean, we also know that is also falling. It's not been a really great year for gold, really. But I'm also interested in this, the suggestion about taking off some petroleum taxes. If that is done, do we have enough buffers against that, really, to fill the gap that this revenue was making for the economy?
Yes, that's an interesting one. I don't foresee that happening in the short term, but if government has some options available, let's recall that when the government came into power, they removed a number of tax handles. What it means is that at the time, a gap was created that needed to be filled. So if you are going to go on the path of removing taxes from petroleum, then we should have other buffers, in addition to the buffer that we are going to use to absorb the increasing price of oil. So I think what the government should be thinking of doing, maybe to try to help consumers by removing some taxes that can be removed without significant impact or creating a big gap. So some of the levies have been there for a long time, like the toll recovery levy and others. They've been there for a long time, but I know that over time, if all of these things are removed and they do not create significant gap, government can easily absorb it. With the benefit that you are getting on the gold price and the significant reserve that you have built, I believe that we can remove some of the taxes. But I don't expect significant impact of that because some of these taxes have been there for a long time and really they don't create so much revenue for government. So government can remove some of them, but I don't think it's going to be massive.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Yaulate. He is an economist. Now, the minority in Parliament has questioned government's decision to procure 100 new 29-seater buses powered by internal combustion engines, arguing that electric buses would have been a better option amid current global fuel concerns. The group says the move is surprising, especially as the previous NPP administration had begun shifting from fuel-powered buses to electric alternatives. The reaction follows a Facebook post by government spokesperson Felix Ofusquachi confirming the arrival of the buses. On the Super Morning Show, Deputy Ranking Member on Parliament's Roads and Transport Committee, Hassan Tempuli, argued that electric buses would have lowered transport costs for passengers.
What's important is that we must move from the internal combustion engine vehicles to more of electric buses, because if you are reacting to some of these global economic dynamics, you need to position yourself properly to take full advantage and not to take the harsh effects of some of these, dynamics on the international markets. So yes, that's why we were moving away from internal combustion engines to bring in electric buses. And so I'm surprised that the government didn't take a leaf from what we did. The internal combustion engine buses definitely will charge passengers way more than how much you were charging when it came to electric buses. You can compare the prices, the lorry fares right now as we speak. You can check. You understand? So yes, the government can decide to bring in as many buses as possible and even bring in the spare parts. But what is important is that you cannot be doing the same thing and expect a different results.
Well, Hassan Tempoli also called on government to take urgent steps to address rising fuel prices.
The reality is that, look, EV is the reality right now. So, but just to make my last point.
30 seconds, sir.
Currently, prices of diesel, the highest we have is Strategic Energies, which is selling for 18.92 cedis. That is how much we are buying for in some areas in this country. There are some areas that maybe Strategic Energy is the only filling station over there. So you are compelled to buy. Government has to do something quickly. The president has to call a cabinet meeting, almost like yesterday, and deal with this situation. Ghanaians are suffering.
And he had a deputy ranking member on Parliament's Roads and Transport Committee, Hassan Tampuli. Moving on, newly recruited teachers under the Ghana Education Service has given government up till April 13 to provide a clear payment timeline for the unpaid salary arrears and resolve delays in issuing staff IDs, warning that failure to do so will trigger a demonstration on April 15. And my colleague Michelle Latte joins me in studio with more on this. So, Michelle, what does that statement say?
So, Mami, the statement says the group is also questioning why the newly announced financial clearance for fresh recruitment had not been matched with action on their long-standing arrears. According to them, Cabinet had earlier approved 1.1 billion cedis to settle the salaries and arrears of both teachers and nurses affected by the delays. But while teachers have seen a clear payment roadmap, teachers remain in the dark. They are also complaining that many of them have worked for between 14 and 17 months without their staff IDs, despite repeated assurances that the matter will be resolved. They describe the situation as unfair and inhumane, saying that many affected teachers are already burdened by debts after months of working without pay. Mami, they also insist that the planned demonstration will take place during the vacation period for the basic school and the single-track senior high schools, and therefore it will not violate earlier cautions against protests during instructional hours. The group is also calling on teacher unions, civil society groups, and faith-based organizations to support their demand for fairness, transparency, and respect.
Thank you, Michelle, for that update. Now, the Member of Parliament for Laura Bidi Ziding has raised concerns over the declining number of boys in second cycle institutions across the country. Now, he attributes the worrying trend to young boys abandoning their education to engage in illegal mining, also known as galamsey. Speaking to students of Erimon Senior High Technical School, where girls significantly outnumber boys, the Laura legislator cautioned that those who trade the classroom for illegal mining risk damaging their future. Join News Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
Speaking during the official handover ceremony, Loe Beat Anwata Zuma emphasized that the new equipment comes at a significant cost and must be strictly protected. He commended the Energy Minister and the Deputy for their highly proactive support in securing the transformer. Addressing the student body at a separate assembly, the MP raised concerns about a growing demographic imbalance in education facilities, noting that female students visibly outnumber their male counterparts. He directly attributed this trend to young boys abandon their education to engage in illegal mining, local known as galamsey.
It means that you boys, you have to back up. You have to back up. When I say you have to back up, not only those of you here, your younger brothers at home, those who refuse to attend school and say they are going to do galamsey, they are going to harm themselves. They are going to harm themselves. I'm sure the girls, they can't do galamsey. They can do the galamsey. They can't do galamsey. But the guys, even when they are here, they still want to run away and then go and do galamsey. And as for those who are home, they won't come at all.
Reporting for J News, Rafiq Salam, Ermon.
The Member of Parliament for Old Tafel, Vincent Asifwa, has put together a team of lawyers to provide free legal services to selected inmates at the Kumasi Central Prisons. The intervention targets inmates believed to have been wrongfully convicted and others jailed due to lack of proper legal representation, while also supporting efforts to decongest the facility. Mr. Asifwa, who is a lawyer, says the initiative is part of the team's duty to society. Nanaya Jima reports.
An engagement with some inmates revealed that some could have sentences reduced or be set free with proper representation. Vincent Eko Asifwa, a lawyer, has established a legal team to appeal such cases. The team has received dockets believed to be appealable for acquittal or reduced sentences. The MP has deposited 20,000 cedis as seed funding.
My media, now what it takes to have some people here at the prison.
There are some of them who are here because they lack legal representation. If we are able to get them legal representation, We can win some of the cases in court.
And yes, your more legal representation, you go by way of an appeal, some of them are. The video is able to me.
The Vincent Asifua Foundation partnered with Jofel Restaurant to provide packed food and health screening for over 2,500 inmates at the Kumasi Central Prisons for Easter. The prisons are launching a medical and equipment bank initiative to improve inmate health care. Officer in charge, DDP James Mailer, believes this can help improve conditions.
Because all those who are here, we need to reach out to them so that they can learn a skill or do something meaningful while in here, so that when they leave the prison, they will hopefully be better off than they came here.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima, Kumasi.
Well, the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Esi Nyamekye, has revealed the party's ambition to secure an equal share of votes with the new patriotic party in the Ashanti region in the 2028 elections. During a tour of the region, Mr. Esi Nyamekye noted that the NDC's improved performance in the 2024 elections demonstrates the impact of deliberate strategies and renewed focus on the traditionally NPP-dominated stronghold. He made this remark during his tour of the Ashanti region. There's more on the following report.
The national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esi Nyamekye, has embarked on a strategic tour of the Ashanti region aimed at strengthening the party's grassroots presence and consolidating its recent electoral gains. According to him, the increased support the NDC received in the Ashanti region played a crucial role in its overall electoral success, underscoring the importance of sustained engagement with voters in the area.
Assembly about better NDC there, Ashanti Mamu ya local area no, na pese mi bubu sa de no free.
We wanted to dispel the perception that the Ashanti region is a no-go area for the NDC. And the outcome of the elections has proven that perception wrong.
Esi Nyamekye emphasized that achieving this target will require unity within the party, as well as continued grassroots mobilization and strategic outreach. The Ashanti region has long been considered a political stronghold of the NPP, but recent trends suggest increasing competition, with the NDC intensifying efforts to expand its influence and appeal among voters. For Joy News, Nana Bwachidankwe Kumasi.
Well, you're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll take a break. When we return, families troop to Love FM Family Party in the park to be treated with good music, food, and laughter on Easter Monday. Also, massive crowds, big stars, and bold fashion mark grand finale of Guma Easter Carnival.
If you know me before, you see me today, you go see I be solo. How they understand why some people say this thing be coco.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white where it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Now, the much anticipated annual Love FM Family Party in the Park at the Plush Rotary Park in Kumasi is coming alive as families converge to renew bonds and entertain themselves in the Easter festivities. Parents and children are queuing with excitement as the tone is set for what promises to be a fun-packed day where laughter and bonding are assured. Patrons across the Ashanti Regional Capital are to enjoy good live music performances, vibrant kids, playful activities, good food, and moments of community togetherness.
Faccione di agro kwa wa hanu misa agro bebre. Agro no be to say pu wa ha akasha wa ha. Nyoma bebre. E bi wa kra dem etimi do fa. E bi msaru be si fom. Moto ne nyoma bebre wa nti na de ni je wa pa.
Me di agro be visa hanu me kama. Yimba da. Mambina papa na dia ba ya dosu ene ba no ti ene media grasa.
So let's go to the Rotary Park now where Clinton Yabwa is, and he was the one who spoke to those people. So Clinton, translate to us what they said. Hello Clinton, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, Clinton. If you can hear me, yes, translate what the people said to you when you spoke to them.
Well, Maame, I must say that the Kumasi Rotary Park has become the perfect spot for families to come and enjoy themselves. At the entrance, you can see the families grouped together trying to make their way into the premises. And all corners, when you enter the Kumasi Rotary Park, is hosting an attraction. I believe that's why the children are currently now very excited. The swimming pool at the moment, although it's early days, is full. And it's not just that. There are a wide range of activities going on that the parents that I've spoken to are anticipating. This place is not open for only people from Kumasi, but I've also seen some foreign nationals here who tells me that they were looking for perfect place to spend their holidays, and they chose the Kumasi Rotary Park. In fact, it's not their first time, and they have seen the excitement that comes with enjoying your Easter Monday at the Rotary Park.
Thank you, Clinton Yabwa, who is coming to us live at the Rotary Park. Now moving on to Guma. The Guma Easter Carnival climaxed in a vibrant showcase of fashion and music as top performers and public figures lit up the final night with electrifying displays. From a star-studded runway to marathon stage performances led by Shatawale, the event drew massive crowds while driving economic activity for local businesses. Collins Rimpon reports.
The final day of the Guma Easter Carnival unfolded as a vibrant fusion of fashion and music. Member of Parliament for Guma Central, Kwame Asare, popularly known as A+, alongside Deputy CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority, Abeku Santana, and other notable figures, stepped onto the runway. They transformed into models for a moment, showcasing intricate designs captured by local designers in Gumwa, each piece telling a story of heritage and creativity.
Who is this? Who do we have? Maame Esi, why they're busy? Why they're busy? Why they're busy? Honorable A+. Why they're busy? Why they're busy?
As the night deepened, the music stage came alive with a parade of artists, but it was Shatawale who electrified the night, commanding the crowd with an explosive performance that stretched beyond 2 hours.
If you know me before, you see me today, you go see I be solo. How they understand why some people say this thing be Coco. Shy, why when me call up like couch, you know, for see nothing even cause bobo. Me them a be they look for my things so bad, I mean. Hey, Charlie, all them no go so sit for your corner and sip your cocoa. Fine boy when I pose, I see flashlights like a photo.
Quick up that high-octane display, Kofi Kinata, Kwao Kese, and many others took turns to keep the momentum alive, delivering crowd-favorite hits.
Mamini mini de tu madina ye. Timusumi di muwaji di debe ye. Ana bibi wa to me Seda, Muida, Family Mina to Madina, Tamusumedi, Muaji, and I be Obusa, Dada Kukompo, so Nasa Medi Netila, Obini Munatraya, what you got there, I don't know. Naminipa, when that was so, what you know, I will Mamuchado.
Come on, cut it. Turn up your volume, bitchy nonsense. Wow, action. My heart's great when me do my sweat. You can't tell me nothing.
Then, in an unexpected twist, the stage welcomed PSA Esther, a surprise appearance that shifted the atmosphere.
I am alive today. This God, you've been too good.
Exciting moments at the Guma Easter Carnival. But that's how we end this afternoon's bulletin here on Joe 99.7 FM. Up next is Living with Pastor Mensa Watermill.